Anthony and Robbie, who've been doing fantastic work.
Thank you. Councillor Casey.
Oh, just timely to note the fantastic work that the Auckland libraries have been doing in this sphere, and half of the community digital activities done in libraries. So it just occurred to me to maybe ask for a report to my committee on that particular aspect. So no, just great. It's great. That's all.
Again, just to add to that, some of that international experience as well does suggest that libraries are playing an even greater role now with rural broadband, because they often are what they call an anchor point, which usually has quite a good internet connection and then provides a lot of those services to customers that otherwise would not have access at all.
Just are all our libraries now on broadband? And if not, how many are not? And similarly, just if you've got that information for community centres as well. I
don't have that information to hand, but that's something that we can...
I'll ask for that to come to my committee. It's fascinating. Thank you.
Councillor Darby.
Thanks, gentlemen. Just in arriving at the digital enablement plan that we've got here, and it's well broken down, when you were drafting this up, it's well focused on places. I want to just be more comfortable in the fact that you gave some strong emphasis to youth, young people, in arriving at that plan. Can you just take us through how the youth market is going to be better satisfied with this enablement plan? And one of my first questions, you also give some attention to libraries. That's great. And you go on to talk about exploring better digital enablement in community centres, Papakainga you just mentioned. But town centres, where are we up to in all our town centres and major employment zones being enabled digitally, and I mean ultra-fast digitally? And I just don't get a sense of that there. And where are we up to in enablement right across our transport network? That is, every train station. I think Auckland Transport are doing some work on this, but if you can just let us know, every train station, every bus station, every ferry terminal, and every bus, every rail carriage, every ferry.
Okay, I think I'll start with the point around town centres. I guess is a good place to start. So we do have the Auckland Wi-Fi network does run in some town centres. That was built primarily off the back of the last Rugby World Cup. My understanding, I don't take the lead on the Wi-Fi network, so I'm not 100% certain as to where the decision-making process is with that at the moment, but I understand that we are in a process of evaluating where we go to next with that, whether or not it serves good value for money for council, given the massive amount of competition there is in the Wi-Fi market, whether or not that need has been superseded by, well, that demand has been superseded by other Wi-Fi networks, particularly looking at some of the telcos as they roll out additional Wi-Fi networks, and the way businesses are providing their own Wi-Fi networks now as well in cafes and that sort of thing. So in town centres, our focus has primarily been on working with the business community through the business improvement districts team. So that's delivering a lot of messaging around what the value proposition is with fast broadband, how it can transform people's businesses, and then one of the activities we have in there is also looking at the digital transformation tool that has been delivered through Dunedin's digital office. That is something that ATED's looking at the moment to help businesses actually work some of that technology and connectivity into their businesses. But I think in terms of that youth access, we have focused a lot on libraries. They do provide a massive service in terms of Wi-Fi connectivity and computer use to youth. This is by no means an exhaustive outline, so there is definitely other activity that will be happening across the council that will happen in the future. This is really an indication to central government on how we anticipate supporting access to digital.
So I would imagine young people use the public transport system hugely. I mean, they're major users, and Look, are you aware of where Auckland Transport is up to in enablement on its whole network?
Unfortunately, at this stage, I'm not personally aware of where they are with that, but that's something that we can...
So would it have not been of value to know that? Because that's our network, that's our network, our public transport network owned by us, where a lot of people are travelling. We need to make that seductive. One of the ways to make that seductive is to enable it digitally.
Absolutely.
That would also be a focus on young people as well. So has that not been considered in this enablement plan?
Really the focus of central government, what they really want out of these digital enablement plans is to highlight how councils can support the uptake and use of the UFB network. That UFB network will support the transport Wi-Fi network.
Yes.
But it's about getting more people, more individuals, more groups connecting to UFB in businesses and homes and where they don't have access through other means like Wi-Fi. So I take your point that that's something that could be expressed to central government as well. I'm just unfortunately at this stage not entirely sure on where that Wi-Fi where the Wi-Fi network on Auckland Transport Services is at this stage.
Okay.
Okay, well, just to follow that, because for me that's a bit of a disconnect. Now I understand we're talking about the hardwired ultra-fast network, but the Wi-Fi systems hook off that. So we're not talking about two different things here. We are still talking about the one thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm concerned that we're actually not thinking about the enablement on the public transport network. So is there scope, Madam Chair, to work this up and have some focus on that enablement right across the public transport network? I mean, this technology's there, it's available.
I think, Councillor, if you look at 3.1 implementation partners, one of those is
Page, sorry, Chair.
94, page 10. This is an ongoing piece of work. It's not
concluded.
It's not sort of finished. That's why the working party will continue, and that's all part of it. And I think as far as the youth is concerned, I mean, I think Councillor Cooper put it so well. One of the problems with our youth is that, and you know, you take, for example, people who go to Orewa College, most of their homework is done on digital devices, and yet when they go home they can't get it. So they can't do their homework. So they have to go to libraries, and libraries are closed in the evening. So, you know, some of this is... So certainly we're looking at all that. And as you quite rightly say, you know, I think I'm pretty sure that the northern buses now have digital on their buses, don't they, Chris?
With a hop card.
Yeah, with a hop card. Yeah.
Madam Chair, I think there's a lot of work being done by Auckland Transport, and that might constitute a briefing at the appropriate forum.
Yeah.
And I can give Councillor Darby the assurance that the Board of Auckland Transport have actually spent a lot of time on this issue. But we are trying to link it to the hop card, which I think is the appropriate mechanism for encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to go back to this, Madam Chair, it's to endorse the enablement plan. And I'm saying that one of the gaps in the enablement plan, just as there is to provide free Wi-Fi in public libraries, I'd like to see a work stream that is to provide free Wi-Fi on the public transport network. Now, I know Auckland Transport is doing some work, but I just think it's critical.
Yep.
This is where you make public transport the Audi rather than the Skoda.
Yep.
Absolutely. And just in response to that, I'm happy to go back to Auckland Transport and work in one of these activity tables in with them around Wi-Fi before we
finalise it.
Plan.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And Councillor Wayne Walker.
Sure. Just got a quick question. I understand what's going out in terms of the rollout. The interest I've got is around the speed. I understand there's a good delivery on download speed, but there are limitations on the upload speed, that there's a significant difference. That has a huge impact on some businesses, particularly if you're involved with film and digital and the like. You really want rapid upload speed, and I just wondered if it'd be possible to have some information about that.
Absolutely. So in terms of the UFB network, just in terms of the information I have access to at this stage, a lot of that comes down to, on the fibre network particularly, what plan a business or a customer signs up to. So in the residential side of things, you can get at a base level a 30 gigabyte per second down and 30 meg per second download and 10 upload. But as you scale those plans up, the upload capabilities of for businesses does increase to a certain degree. It's not symmetrical at this stage. We still have an asymmetrical broadband quality in New Zealand that definitely needs some attention, but it's something that we expect will scale up over time.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is the technology that's being put in place now is locking us into this asymmetrical problem. And there's some investment required around that. It would be useful to understand that and know about that. I'd certainly be interested, because it's going to be a real concern.
Absolutely.
Download's fine, but if you can't upload at the same speed, you've got major problems.
I think as part of our process moving forward and setting that baseline, we're hoping to have quite a comprehensive assessment of what technology is available across the Auckland region, and that will include things like the capabilities of the UFB fibre network and things like 4G as well, as they apply in practice rather than the theory.
Yeah, I guess my concern is we're already years behind some other countries in terms of broadband and speeds. If we're locking ourselves into a delivery, certainly on upload, that's slow, that we're even further behind.
Okay, thank you. If there's no more questions or comments, I'll move the recommendations. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.